There we go. Finally worked over here.
And this
All right. Cool. Now, does this have audio? Hello. Yes. Cool. All right. We're back. Do we have audio? Play the piano now. Hey, Zadoka. Matching. You're always on with a request nice and early. What are the light goals? All right, I'm gonna put them up. Actually, Zendoka, your voice is fine. The piano isn't coming. Really? Hold on. Really? Oh, it totally isn't. Oh, some stupid Apple update probably. Oh, it totally isn't. Oh. Let's see, because I can hear the piano just fine. Let's see what we can do about this. YouTube controls. All right, hold on. The piano isn't pianoing? Can't have the piano not pianoing. Okay. The piano isn't pianoing. Let's try this. Nope, it just did it again. Oh, are these mics causing me trouble now? It just did it again. All right, I'm having the audio be double for a second. Light goals. Light goals. Well, we got to get the piano to piano first. Let's try this. This is not ideal. Hold on. I actually have a different system we can do. I can't believe that I wonder if they pushed out an update to make it voice canceling. Because that is really lame if they did. Audio, yeah. If they did. Nope, it's an Apple thing. Okay. Let me try to troubleshoot this. Sorry that this isn't working. Let me try to troubleshoot this. Sorry that this isn't working. All right. I don't want to know what Xbox and whatever has in common. Okay. Is it a YouTube thing? Let's try a little bit of that. I can't believe that they just pushed out some random update and now the piano doesn't work. I can't believe that they wonder if they set it up for all instruments. I wonder if they set it up for all instruments. Yep, that's crazy. That's wild. I can hear it. Yep. Wow. Okay. I can play my original song. I'd love to, but we can't do that right now. Okay, this is I guess what we're gonna do for now. How is this happening? I have no idea. I will troubleshoot it in a bit because we've got 26 people in here. We got 47 people in here. It's going to be a answering question stream. Piano is completely muted because of lovely YouTube things. Hey You and Fitness. I think it's YouTube or Apple Music. I will fix it for a later stream. I may need to figure out a way to go direct in. But for now, go ahead. Questions. How often do I play circus music? I have no idea. Can you teach me how to do octaves easily if you have small fingers? Okay, let's talk about small fingers for a second. I on the other hand, have massive fingers and large, well, not massive fingers, but I have big fingers and I have a large reach. Now, if you have smaller fingers, the trick is honestly, can you stretch the octave? If you can stretch the octave, just practice that for a couple minutes a day and then stop. Okay? And then relax. The other big unlock with octaves, by the way, is going to be more on the top there. Here, we'll plug this back in anyway. I can't believe these dumb updates where they decide, oh, we need to make sure this is noise canceling, right? It's too noisy in chat. So it's too noisy on the microphone. So let's get rid of all piano sounds. That's a great way to do it, right? I can't play Alice in Chains today, Scott Hembry. We're working on changing the title to Q&A because YouTube or Apple, I don't know. Try playing. It's it's completely gone. You don't have any. Do I have any tattoos? No. I do not have any tattoos. All right, I'm changing the title of it. There we go. Um, no audio cause of weird update. No audio for piano. Ask questions. We'll do that today and I'll try to troubleshoot it when we're off. I know, super weird. Okay. Um yeah, so the trick with octaves, guys, line up your questions. Line up your questions. Um all right. Hold on, I'm pulling up the live stream chat on here. Okay. Now, hold on, I'm pulling up the chat on here. It's so weird because I know I can hear the piano in my hand and I totally can't see it playing. That's so weird. Yeah, you can totally pin a message. Am I from America? Yes. Pull up any questions you guys have about music, about life, about whatever, and I will answer them. We can't do requests right now. Sorry. Do you listen to no, I do not. I look like Mark Zuckerberg, it happens. Can I help you with the octaves in Ronda Olaturka? Yes, let's talk about octaves. So, okay, here's the deal about playing octaves. You need to favor your pinky. You need to actually favor being up on your pinky. Now, again, you can't hear me playing because this ridiculous thing, but when you play, try to favor your thumb is a really strong finger, okay? A very strong finger. And what people don't realize is I can actually adjust. Look at that. Look at that twist right there. So I can actually make sure that my pinky is more supported and my thumb is less supported. And do you know what? My thumb doesn't care because my thumb can do whatever. All right. Um, can I play something? I can't. I literally can't. I mean, I can't, but you can't hear it. Here's Bohemian Rhapsody. Hi, I'm Luke, but not Luke Skywalker. Um, okay, favorite album? I have a lot, but I'm gonna throw out just one of my favorites. 5 EPs by Dirty Projectors. Nice try, Mark Zuckerberg. We know it's you. You're right. You're right. Hey, Jubilee Smith. Hey, how's it going? Hey, Solar FB fan. If you had any burning questions, this is the time. You're Sean. Yep. Why can't we hear? Okay. It's because of noise canceling. Do you guys understand how noise canceling works? You're handsome. What part of JoJo is in the background? First one, Phantom Blood. Last live I saw. Okay, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff on YouTube Live. What's the rarest note on piano? I would say the ones on the either side, the lowest A or the highest C. People don't typically play those. Finally, you read my comment, bro. I've been trying to say you look identical. I don't think we look identical. Nice try, Mark Sheeran. There you go. Can you play Carol of the Bells? I can. You can't hear it. You worked and changed your life? Well, that's good for you. La Campanella, again, doesn't work. Low A, high C, yeah. Nice try, Mark Sheeran. Sure. Still prefer the first album. Dirty Projector's first album or what? I absolutely can play Golden Hour, but not right now. Yes, noise canceling. Yes, I somehow they pushed an update literally last night because yesterday it worked fine. Hardest part piece, thank you by the way, Zendoka, for that. We'll pin that. We're gonna chat for like 30-40 minutes and then I'm gonna go try to fix this and then see what happens. Um, we can certainly do. How do you improve dynamics? Thank you. These are the type of questions we need right now, guys. We need that type of questions. We can have random variety questions too. That's totally fine. Thank you, Shonda, for the gift. Okay, the way that you would improve dynamics. So here's the thing: treat music practice to some degree like a scientific exercise, okay? And so what you're going to do is you're going to hold other variables constant so that you can improve on the thing you want to improve. So in this case, you want to improve your dynamics. So pick a section of a piece or pick a scale and then practice getting louder or getting softer. Now, the other thing that I would say, Chirag, about dynamics is you want to um you want to be able to do the dynamics in a way that actually is reproducible, and the way you do that is you make sure that you understand how dynamics work. How do you play scales fast? We'll get to that next, Timothy. um what should we do after scales? Major, minor done. What's that after that? We'll get to that too. These are great questions. Okay, to finish Chirag's question, dynamics are how fast you push down the key, okay? Think about the physics involved. Think about an acoustic piano, and it's the same. The digital piano just models the acoustic piano. It's not how hard you push down. People say that all the time. Oh, you have to push down harder. Incorrect. Think about that. It's not that you're pushing the note down harder. The only thing the key matters is how fast that key goes down. So if you're being very aggressive and you have firm technique and you're pushing down really fast, that note's going to be louder, okay? That's what's going to happen. Sure, Bible Kyle, just for you. Did you enjoy that beautiful song? How do you play a scale fast and soft? So the first thing I would say, actually, piggybacking off the conversation, is that and what Timothy was saying too, is dynamics are a great way to practice getting better. In general, you need to practice softer to play faster and better. Okay, most people. This is not always true. Some people play very timidly, and then them I almost always advocate for them to play a little bit louder. But most people actually practice too soft. Sorry, too loud, right? And so practicing softer will increase your dynamic range because it's all about contrast. That's the thing about dynamics. It's not about how loud you play or how soft you play. It's the contrast between the two. Um, Harder, but you're gonna so and again, it's each individual key press. It's each individual key press. Now, when you get to chords, there is something to be said about using more weight, if you will, because it's hard. It's hard to do it. Now, let's talk about playing fast. If you think about playing fast, I think there's two big unlocks with fast. The first is efficiency. The more efficient you are, the faster you're going to be able to play. So if your way of playing the piano is like this, you're never going to be able to play fast, right? But if your way of playing the piano looks like this, it's going to be a lot easier. That's thing number one. Thing number two is going to be you don't know where you can see impressions on YouTube videos. Okay, go to your channel dashboard. Do you know how to get to your channel dashboard, EPZen? Start there. Go to your channel dashboard. We'll start there. Okay. Now, you got efficiency, unlock number two for playing super fast, scale super fast, anything super fast. Gestures. Okay? So think about a 16th note timing. So on the key of A, we would be doing A, B, C, C sharp, D, and then the next one would be E. E, F sharp, G sharp, A. So can we do those as gestures? Yada, 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 yada. That's what you want to go for, okay? Yada, and then yada, and then yada. That's how you want to do that. And if you get that down, that's going to be able to build. So, what that means for actual practicing is you want to practice on the one hand very, very slowly, even if you're trying to go fast, and that's to get the efficiency right, to get the how particular you are with the notes. But then the second way you want to do it is you actually want to practice super fast, maybe even faster than your goal to practice the gestures. So efficiency gestures. Do you know how to play Pirates of the Caribbean? Um, I know how to play silence. What's really trippy is I hear it perfectly fine. Um, yes. Due to technical difficulties, it is a Q&A stream. Questions about music? You're new? Wonderful. Ask questions today, Rehaster, because this is really a weird thing that's happened. We have a technical difficulty where you can't hear the piano. You can hear my voice, but you can't hear the piano. What should we do after scales? Major, minor, done. What's after that? Okay, let's talk about that. So uh what you should do after scales is you should practice more scales. Now, in all seriousness, I have been playing scales for basically my entire life. I started at 7. I still practice scales fairly regularly. Do I know how to sing? Yeah, sure. Is a NUK NEX 100 keyboard any good? Let's look it up. Uh, okay. Um, we'll do that in a second. Let me finish answering Stars Live's question. Um, Name all 88 piano notes. That's gonna be really boring. A flat, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F. Do I play Magic? Yeah, I used to play a lot of Popper, where you just basically get really, really cheap cards and then make fun decks with them. That was probably my favorite way to play. I don't play as often now because the friend that I had that played, we live far away from each other now. So we occasionally play over Zoom, but it's not as exciting over Zoom. Okay. What song was I singing? The All the Piano Note song. Okay, so you learned your scales, major and minor. What's next? At first, keep playing major and minor scales. Second, you have options at that point. I would personally recommend scale degree chords and learning the chords as your next top priority. Another one after that would be to learn arpeggios. I think arpeggios are very useful. They're not as useful as scales, but they are useful. Another good one after that is 3 or 4 note uh, um, uh, patterns. Okay, I love these. So it'd be C D E D E F G A B C. Yeah, I have it pulled up. EP Zen. I'm gonna break it down in just a second. This piano. Um, so that is some option stars live. But what I typically tell my students once they learn those is you don't need um you don't need hand holding at that point. You can kind of just decide where you want to go after that. Is I know, isn't it crazy, Rehaster, when I play the piano, it just goes away? Is memorizing the rule of fifths helpful? You mean the circle of fifths? I've never heard it called the rule of fifths, but it's kind of silly watching people repeatedly ask for music, even though the title is literally no suggestions. People don't know how to read. Just letting you in. Sorry, it's not that they don't know how to read. They don't know how to read for comprehension. They're not actually thinking about what they see. Um, uh, the circle of fifths is very helpful. Okay, and here's the reason why the circle of fifths is helpful. The reason why the circle of fifths is helpful. Maybe putting the sloth on the keys will help people. Katy Perry or Taylor Swift? Neither. Can we go with neither? Um, what's my favorite singer? In terms of pop music right now, I would say Chapel Roan is pretty high on the list for pop music. But uh, did I know how to play Rushy in the past? Taylor Perry, exact. That's the right answer. Chirag. That's the right answer. Uh, Circle of Fifths. Do I know Trinity College? Yeah, sure. So Circle of Fifths, what the cool thing about Circle of Fifths is a great way to memorize things. It's also a great way to understand visually how keys line up with each other, how far away they feel, right? Because if I go from C to G, which is one move around the circle of fifths, it's not going to feel that far away. But it explains why going from C to D flat or to C sharp feels monumentously far away, even though they're right next to each other. So I think the circle of fifths wins twice because it helps you memorize things, which is great. And then it also helps you to rationalize what the sound of music is, which is a very powerful thing. I don't think people realize how important it is to rationalize the sound of music because you can definitely get some weird stuff. Um, all right, now the Nux Neck 161 key portable electronic piano for beginners with live music mode. Here's the thing. There is a lot of toys for under $400, all right? And what you really, really need to understand is if you're buying a keyboard brand new under $400, it's a toy, okay? I don't want to hurt your feelings. And if you don't have the means, you may need to just do what you have to do. But it's not going to be touch sensitive, most likely. The sounds are going to be very, very poor and it's not going to have 88 keys. So, me as someone who has dedicated my life to getting pretty good at piano as an instrument, um, I'm a little sad that these type of keyboards exist. Okay, I wish that someone would like chop up and like make like little MIDI controllers maybe for this price range. And that's what I would generally recommend. If you're desperate to get into music and mostly you're interested in the producer creating music side of things, then it is not touch sensitive. Okay. Well, even if it's touch sensitive, it's not going to be very great touch sensitivity. It's that very cheap sort of plastic touch sensitivity. Again, you have to learn where you're at and what instrument you have. So if you have it, wonderful, great. Nothing wrong with that. I would never recommend somebody to buy one of these because they don't really do much, okay? Now, the moment you get to that like 400-ish price range higher, then you get to stuff where they start to feel more like a piano. They start to sound more like a piano. Now, if your goals are different than just playing piano, then maybe you don't even want to go there. Maybe you just want to get a MIDI controller, and then that's totally fine. If this Nux Neck actually lets you see, that's the other issue with this one. Well, okay, it has USB-C on the back. Maybe does it do MIDI? Okay, you can do MIDI. Yeah. All right, so you can do MIDI. So plug that sucker into your computer and go wild. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fun. I look like Mark Zuckerberg. It happens sometimes. Gabriella, does your keyboard let you record any sound sample and make it a piano roll? I know how to do that. I don't think this does off the cuff, but how do you do MIDI? You look up how do I do MIDI for my Nux neck 100. I mean, honestly, that's what I would do. But in general, it's probably a little too complicated to explain right now. But mostly, what you're going to do is you're going to take a data cable, not an audio cable. So some form of USB for this thing, and you plug that from the keyboard to your computer will recognize your keyboard. You may have to install a driver. And then once your computer recognizes the keyboard, then you can use the keyboard to input information in the computer. So, for example, you can open up a DAW, a digital audio workstation, and then do things. Way easier with GarageBand, but not that hard. Your Wi-Fi cut off? Oh, it's all good, Ken. Well, learning about circle of fifths, it got a bit confusing when it came to flats. Exactly why is what asking if C flat is B because a C flat scale is a B major scale or is terribly misunderstood. Chirag, no, you're absolutely right. A C flat major scale is a B major scale. They're the same thing. Now, there's a reason why we have inharmonic spellings. What car is my favorite and why? I think minivans are amazing. I think a Honda Odyssey or a Toyota Sienna, incredible. Incredible cars. Um, I'm biased because I have 5 kids, but can I play Shaper? I could, but you wouldn't be able to hear it. Um, Hang on, I wanna answer this question about circle of fifths first, about inharmonic spellings. Any tips for playing 4-note semi-quaver patterns very fast? Tempo is minimum beat 63 and 4/4. Semi-quaver is left hand. Oh, the part in Mozart? Well, there's a different one there. Um, what I would say is, bias the pinky for that. Bias the pinky. Bias the pinky and make sure that pinky's really, really strong there. Um, Vans are cool. Vans are very cool. Is the Yamaha PSR 5750 good? Let's look it up. PSR, um, I'm sorry, S750. Let me look this up. Oh, interesting. Why would you get this? It's discontinued. Interesting. Hold on. I'm gonna go back to T-Rock's question about inharmonic spellings in a second. Um, what's this S750? Hold on. Let's look at a product view thing for
Articulation technology. Just listen to the sound of this real sound. To some of the amazing.
Okay, so in general, it depends on what you're going for, and you're gonna hear me say depends a lot. This type of keyboard, I think, has increasingly become less important. And the reason why is you don't actually need this much stuff with a keyboard these days. And it's because of DAWs or digital audio workstations. So I would say there's really 3 different ways you can think about the keyboard purchase right now. Now, that looks like a perfectly serviceable, nice keyboard, okay? So, um, you can definitely get the job done with that PSR, S750. But I would say think about keyboards in one of 3 ways in modern times, okay? In modern times where we live now. 1, I want it to feel and act like a piano. That's what I got in front of me right now. The FP90 does that almost better than any other one. Uh, it's not necessary to buy a new one, but I would say this, for church, I would be highly interested in potentially buying, well, it depends on the technical level of the people at your church. If you've got fairly technical people at your church, you could buy a 600 or $700 MIDI controller and get an old MacBook Air donated to the church. And you should be able to EP Zen Piano. You should be able to. Who even goes to church anymore? A whole lot of people in my chat. This guy here. Uh, um, so you get a MIDI controller, plug it up to a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro, and then use MIDI sounds. So use Logic, use GarageBand, use MainStage. Um, yeah, you just take your Mod X. Yeah. No, I mean the Mod X is such a step up from that PSR 750. I honestly, if I was at your church, I would be advocating. I probably would donate to try to get a different keyboard because it's painful and it's expensive, but it would make a big difference. And it's a pain to be schlopping that thing every time. I used to play at a church where I'd always have to bring something. Oh, good. I'm glad my clips are helping to understand. Yeah, you really do. You really do need something more substantial. If you're serious about piano. And like again, production is a different matter. If you're just trying to produce, then no, you don't need the weighted keys. You don't need that. But if you're trying to do anything with your fingers, you need stuff like that. Okay, now let's go back to inharmonic spellings for a second because I don't think a lot of people understand this. Why in the world are there F flats? Why in the world are there C flats? Please make guess which one is AI. Video is less obvious. There are two people for the which one of these is AI videos. There's two audiences for those EPs and piano. The first one is the general audience because me as a musician, as a creator, if I don't get millions of people in the modern times to see my videos, then ultimately I will never be able to get to the sustainability where I can justify the time spend that I do on all of these. Ouch, the sound quality, I know something horrible has happened to YouTube or Apple. I have no idea what happened. There is no F flat, there is an F flat. There absolutely is an F flat. Um, Religion isn't bad, but people use religion for their own benefit. Know the difference? I've heard it said many different ways. Um, I've heard people say religion is bad, but spirituality is good, or Christianity is good. I've heard the way that you say it before. I would just say in general, at least coming from a Christian background, there's a difference between a relationship and an active relationship and religious thinking. Like religion is the everything you're doing is bad. I condemn you. I'm judging you. Guess what? The Bible says, judge lest ye be judged, meaning the standard in which you're judging other people is the standard you will be judged, which means I'm going to be as gracious and forgiving as possible because I know I got some stuff in my past. I don't want to be judged by that same standard. Why don't I play piano? Because guess what? This is what happens. It's not broken. The piano's not broken. There's it's a noise canceling issue. Okay? It's super obnoxious wind of change. Literally, I woke up this morning, came down, started playing. Everyone's like, no, 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 no audio. And I'm like, okay, let me restart the stream. And then they're like, no, your piano audio is gone. And I tried to troubleshoot it for a while. Nothing is written in F flat. It's just E major. No, there is definitely stuff that where F flat comes up. Um, yeah, Mr. Sloth is having revenge, exactly. So let's talk about inharmonic spellings for a second, and then let's get into other things. No, you're right. F flat it would be a very odd key to see because F flat would mean that you have what, nine flats? Because you'd have F flat, G flat, A flat, B double flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, and then F flat, right? F flat is not just E. That is true. Piano players say that all the time, that F flat is just E. But if you're not a piano player, the tuning is slightly different. So that is true. But let me just explain inharmonic spellings in a way that's probably going to drive Wind of Change crazy, but is just going to get the general gist of why you care. Okay? So I am a dad, but I also am uh, a son still, right? So when I go to my parents' house, my role is different than when I'm at my house, right? Everybody understands that. And that's true for uncles, that's true for cousins, that's true for nephews. We all have these different names and these different roles. That is what makes it the same note, but different name. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. The other way to think about it is a lot of times flat and sharp imply a directionality. Okay. So if I say C flat, it implies more likely that that note is going to resolve down to B flat, right? As opposed to when I say B, that note is going to more likely want to go up to see. So it has a more of a directionality, and that's something to be aware of in general with music is the implications You're trying to learn Year of the Cat by Al Stewart. My ring finger needs to learn control. Practice three note finger exercises. Actually, TikTok, you probably can hear my piano. So we're going like this to get the finger to work. So what we're doing is just three notes up and down like this. You do this on every key. I would do it for all of them, even if you don't need it. And poof, it would work wonders. You're trying to find a sloth like that here? Is 6 octaves good for Nux Neck? Again, it just depends on what it is. What's up, Wind of Change? What other questions you guys have? I think I caught up to all the questions. How to read notes with ADHD? Try using a virtual cable. Do you think I just okay, hold on. Let me plug it into the phone. Here we go. All right, you ready? Okay, all right, plugged in. Um, I've been struggling with arpeggios for a long time. I don't know whether to roll the thumb or not. Some people say to do it without the rolling over, but how would I do that for playing slower arpeggios? Okay. Good question. Fantastic question. Um, Fantastic question. Yeah, I'm probably actually Wind of Change. I probably am gonna try to switch to a DAW setup after this because that should solve all the problems. Although I'm a little scared it doesn't, because it was noise controlling on every setting. It was noise controlling if I use this microphone. It was noise controlling if it's just the Apple microphone. So I'm gonna have to do some troubleshooting. I could do it with a computer. That's going to kill my numbers because again, YouTube does not like when you stream from a computer because it doesn't consider it the same level of shorts stream as on the phone, which is crazy. I know, I get that, but it happens. So we'll figure it out. Um, okay, let's talk arpeggios for a second. I agree with the crowd that says do not roll your thumb. What you're talking. I've heard it more called a crossover. And here's the reason why. Anytime you move your hand and it starts to get very contorted, it's going to slow you down, right? You can use an emulator, but that's a headache. Yeah, again, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. Don't stress about it. We're gonna chat for a bit longer. This is going totally fine. And then we'll figure it out. He does not look like Ed Sheeran. Everybody just has different opinions. If Ed Sheeran and Mark Zuckerberg had a child, I'm just gonna say right now, the newspapers would have a field day. Yeah, tucking the thumb is another one people call tucking the thumb. Tucking the thumb, rolling the thumb, crossing over the thumb. Uh, all of that is going to be less effective than not doing it. And here's the reason why. You can just move instantaneously. But if you turn it, now your hand is in an awkward compromise shape. Now, let's say you're doing a slow arpeggio though. First of all, if you just play graciously that last note as opposed to bumping it, which is what people mostly do, you can still get it to be a very connected sound, even with no thumb tucking. And I know you can't hear that at all, but you totally can. Now, if you're playing slow, sure, just adapt. If you want it super legato, it's not going to be legato unless you connect. So connect. You stream list for 3,650 plus minutes on Spotify. If Spotify existed when I was your age, I would have streamed list for at least 3,650 plus minutes. Don't you need to tuck to keep legato in an arpeggio? Yes and no. It depends on how fast the arpeggio is, Brandon. If the arpeggio is fast enough, the literal resonance of the key will keep it going long enough to create the illusion of legato. Again, guys, let's get to the fact that there are no legatos on piano, actually speaking, right? Piano, every note is a distinct hammer strike. There's no way to connect one note to another compared to, say, a violin, right? But we can create the illusion of legato by having the sound overlap. So if you play very fast, then the sound overlaps. Guys, do you want to see something really tricky? I mean, trippy? Here, watch this. The piano, you're like, oh, the piano's off. This is an acoustic guitar. Watch this. Isn't that bizarre? Like it just feels like a I don't know, like it's so weird. It's so weird. Bro, do like Marson? There you go. Can you play an instrument with miserable hand-hand coordination? OAI, that is sort of like saying, can you become good at music if you are tone deaf, right? So being tone deaf means that you don't really um you can't discern where notes are at all by ear. Like you can't even tell whether it's higher or lower. The short answer is yes, but generally speaking, what I tend to find is there is a starting place that you kind of have to be for you to get over the hurdle that you're actually enjoying it. So if you really, really wanted to learn music, I would not let terrible hand-hand coordination. So you're talking about the hands together, I'm assuming. Because typically people say hand-eye coordination, and that would be like, okay, I want to do something. I tell my hand to do it. It doesn't go where I want to go. That's hand-eye coordination. Hand-hand would be like the hands together. That's normal, by the way. The hand-hand coordination's super normal. How am I and how was my day? Well, my day's just starting because I'm in a completely different time zone, so it's the beginning of the day. It's going fine besides the super weird, again, it's either Apple or YouTube. Yeah, again, I would not let it discourage you. Most musicians I know are extremely clumsy people, okay? But then the moment that their hands touch their instrument, they're extremely dexterous. And that's because most of the dexterity that we have with the world comes from lots and lots of work, right? Lots and lots of playing the same thing over and over again. How do you get better at piano? I played for 4 years, but I'm buns. I don't know what that expression is, but that's okay. Um, this is what I would say about getting better at piano. You need intentionality to really get better at something, okay? I think where a lot of people go wrong, especially in that time frame, is they don't really have any goals anymore. Like they went through the books and maybe the teacher they had, they kind of got as good as the teacher or maybe even better than the teacher because there's a lot of teachers that are oh, bad. Okay, it wasn't an expression. Oh, it means I'm bad. Okay. Yeah, it's noise canceling. It's noise canceling, RC Monroe. The literally something happened between last night and today. Okay, I actually have one other way to potentially fix this, and it's gonna annoy me if this works, but I should try it. I may actually try the phone that I'm doing TikTok on and see if that it's just this phone decided to change all its settings on me. But I just need to look into settings and things. I don't really want to do that right now. Um, the baby probably messed up a setting on something. Yeah, that's probably true. Um, just blame it on the baby. I'm just kidding. Baby's too cute. You can't blame it on the baby. Okay. Now, I can play lovely, but it'll just be lovely for myself. No one else will be able to hear it because of the weird noise canceling that decided on this. I'm a father. Yes. Is this AI? It 100% is AI. Here, I'm going to show you that's AI. Watch this. I'm going to be playing guitar right now. Yes, I have Wind of Change. I have. I tried a bunch of stuff before you popped on. Uh, now, yes, active noise canceling has gotten really, really good. Like it's gotten too good. Um, oh yeah. Um, what was I gonna say? I had something I was gonna talk about, but I forgot. Oh, 4 years. You got to the point where you've gotten to where your teacher is. You don't know where to go. You need to set goals for yourself. You need to surround yourself with people who are better than you, okay? That's the trick. Set goals, surround yourself with people who are better than you. Do you want to learn pop music, okay? Well, then get some people around you, work on pop songs. You want to learn jazz, okay? Then literally set a goal for yourself. Go every day, I'm going to try to learn 2 notes from a jazz transcription, okay? I'm going to learn a new chord every day. You want to be get better at classical. You're like, my sight reading's terrible. Every day, hymnal out there. Okay, I'm gonna sight read a hymnal. Dude, you're gonna crush. You're gonna make so much progress if you do that. Star is Live. I Are you still in the chat? I knew you had exams. I was going playing with gospel guys will help a lot. Oh, I completely agree, Steve. When I moved to Chicago, I played with a lot of gospel uh guys. Thoughts on Schubert's Serenade? Schubert writes beautiful music. Can I play guitar and piano? I can. Let you in? Okay, Mason, you're in. When you are coming down while playing B major scale in your left hand, you end up on your fourth finger, but you start with your little finger. What am I doing wrong? Start on your fourth finger, okay? You should just play fourth finger the whole time. Don't play your pinky at all on the B major scale, T-Rock. That's the trick. Um, Let the black keys guide where your thumb goes, because your thumb should be on the white keys when you're playing scales. Can you learn piano on an iPad app? You can't afford piano. Well, it seems like you just answered that question for yourself. The short answer is yes, you can. Is it optimal? No. But can you do it? Sure. Going back to the conversations about keyboards, I'd almost prefer people, unless you're in a space where like all you're gonna earn is $200 and get that, 60 key keyboard that can sort of play stuff. Um, I would say, it's almost better to get the super basics down, maybe even get into production, maybe even try to get to access to some place where you can play a piano occasionally. Like, this is one of those real sadnesses to me. When I was growing up, there were churches all over the place that you could walk in the door and go, "Hey, it's a Tuesday. Can I just play your piano? I will be respectful. I will clean up after myself. It'll be like I never was there." And you could, right? You have a guitar, that's lovely. That's a wonderful thing. Don't spam, otherwise yep, there you go. You got muted. That doesn't really exist anymore. Even if the church is open, they're gonna have a keyboard, and they're probably gonna be pretty cagey about some random person off the street playing their keyboard because it's in some big tech stack and it's tied to this instrument and that, and they've got, a quarter of $1 million worth of audio equipment in there. It's so weird because like it in the past, like, they would have had, like, a really nice piano, but it's like, you're not gonna steal the piano. So, like, they would have most likely just let you in to practice. But that's not really the world we live in anymore. Unfortunately, that's one of those things that kind of bummed me out. Um, uh, can I play Golden Hour? I can. Hey, Avinda, you mentioned that your teacher made you learn a piece before you played it. How was that done? So you can literally memorize. I had a teacher have me memorize a piece before I played it. So you look at the notes, you copy by hand all the notes. Okay. So you literally rewrite the entire score on sheet music, like on staff paper. And then you play 4 measures and you try to play it without ever looking at the book. If you do that, oh man, like your ability, like I've kind of wanted to run a science experiment at some point to see how far you could go that way. I think you'd get really, really good that way. But it's just to me something that I say all the time. Say something in Russian, please. No. There you go. Um uh if when you have or niet, right? Niet. There we go. I assume no was the same because no is the same in like all the language, but I forgot it's niet. There you go. No. Um, Now, uh, da, there you go, da. Molotov. I'm sorry, I apologize to all Russian speakers in here getting so triggered right now. Um, yeah, you're good, Asadullah. You gotta do what you gotta do. And like your story right now it's frustrating. In the future, it's gonna be a triumph. It's gonna be like, hey, look at what I learned just by messing around and by figuring it out on my own. All of this. Um, okay. Where was I at? Oh yeah, by learning by memorizing, you could definitely get pretty far. But I would say I tell my students this all the time. The edge of learning, like how well you can learn, like you have to choose. Are you stubborn or patient, right? And it's better to choose patience, but at some point, we all run out of patience. Okay. So that method is like the ultimate impatience. I'm not even going to play the thing until I've copied it by hand. Like, that is insane levels of patience. I know I don't personally have that level of patience. The other one is stubbornness. Now, what gets us in trouble is so many people get so on the stubbornness path, they're like, I'm going to play the entire song before I even really know it at all. And so they just stumble through it, and then they go back to the beginning, then they stumble through it again, then they go back to the beginning, and then they stumble through it again, and then they don't ever get better. So you kind of have to find a middle ground between stubbornness and patience. Stubbornness kind of lets you get into things immediately, which is good, but patience lets you really make intentional progress in a way that stubbornness really doesn't. Uh, can't play a music. Do I have a loop station? I just don't like the loop station thing. I probably should try it. But I like to adapt ideas. I like to change. I like to go places. I like the harmony to change. I like things to change. Take two jokes and get one free. Impressive. That's an impressive deal you got there. All right, let's do a couple more questions, and then we'll go from there. Um, actually, do you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna shut this down. I'm gonna try it on my other phone just to see how that works, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I'm gonna kill the stream for now. We're gonna try it on my other phone. If it works, I may stream for another 20 or 30 minutes on that. Otherwise, we're gonna kill it for today so I can troubleshoot this. Thanks for hanging around. Thanks everybody. Thanks Indoko, When to Change, Chirag. All right, peace out for now. I will start a stream again, but it may just turn it off immediately if it doesn't work. All right, peace out. Bye.